Before we begin, I'd like to thank Mercedes-Benz for providing us with this 2017 E-Class. I'd also like to introduce myself. I'm a 21-year-old university student who's probably going to be unemployed soon after I graduate, so I thought, let's start making some YouTube videos. It's our inaugural episode, so let's start with reviewing the cool stuff first. This car comes as standard with an autonomous braking feature. This means that the car will apply the brakes automatically if the car's radars detect an oncoming collision. Well, that's the theory. Let's test it out.
Good. Right, let's do this.
Unfortunately, we don't have the budget of our rival shows Top Gear and the Grandad Tour, so we'll make do with a £10 blow-up tree. On the bright side, this test occurred on typical wet London roads, which make the results even more impressive.
On to our next test. This car comes with a feature called Park Pilot, which means the car will park itself to the extent of turning on the indicator, steering, doing the pedals and changing gears. You basically don't need anyone in the driver's seat. If you're watching this and thinking this is weird, trust me, sitting in the back and hoping this car doesn't crash into the Mercedes in front was very stressful. This car also leaves the parking spot by itself, although we haven't recorded it. The Parking Pilot feature also works for bay parking, so if you hate parking in supermarkets, it'll make life a lot easier.
The interior of the new E-Class is a very nice place to be. The quality of materials used is excellent, and I feel like Mercedes let their German employees build the car, but hired an Italian to design the interior. A highlight of the interior would definitely be the ambient lighting, which has 64 different colours. I didn't even know that many colours existed. On the downside, this car comes as standard with Garmin SatNav, which is very slow to use. It's like Mercedes have installed Windows XP when Windows 10 is available. I also think if you're paying £40,000 for a car, fully electric seats should come as standard. I mean, look how hard I found it moving the seat back.
Now that you've all done analysing how hard it is to move the seat back and forth, let's talk about the exterior. The styling of this car is classy and elegant. If I'm spending this kind of money on a car, it has to look good, which the E-Class does better than the 5 Series and Audi A6. In fact, I'd go to the extent of saying the A6 and 5 Series look a bit boring compared to this. This is the AMG line spec, which gives the car a slightly more aggressive looking front and rear bumper. The car also sits slightly lower than the SE and gets 19-inch alloys. Apart from that, the AMG line on the E-Class is basically just AMG written on the floor mats. This is the E220D and comes with Mercedes' brand new 2-litre diesel engine. It's smaller, quieter and more fuel efficient than its predecessor. Don't be fooled into thinking this car's some sort of slouch though. The engine might be smaller, but it's more powerful, with 194 brake horsepower and nearly 300 foot-pounds of torque, which is more than enough power for your average Joe. The engine also comes equipped with a new 9-speed automatic transmission. Generally speaking, the car was always in the right gear at the right time. The car rides smoothly, making London roads feel a lot less bumpy than they really are. I was surprised to find that this car has a lot more grip than you would expect for its size and weight, but it did feel like the body was floating around the corner while the wheels were doing something else at times.
Mercedes have done an incredible job with the all-new E-Class. In my opinion, it's the best looking car in its class. Everywhere we went it turned heads. The interior also has a more quality feel than its rivals, the Audi A6 and BMW 5 Series. Although it isn't the most fun to drive, that's not the purpose of this car. Comfort and luxury is. We're yet to test the all-new 2017 5 Series, but BMW are going to have to do something magical to match the E-Class.
If you've enjoyed watching this video as much as we have making it, hit that subscribe button and check us out on Insta for updates on our next episode.